Memes are a great way to communicate on the internet. Meme music is even greater. Today with me is the god of meme music, Mayur Jumani. Now the thing about one other Jumani that I know is he runs into the future by looking at your numbers.
Yes.
And then there's you, Mayur Jumani, who's constantly going into the past, picking up videos and snippets and giving it a new spin. Fun job, I reckon?
Definitely, yes. Definitely, it's a fun job. It's something that I wanted to do all my life. Not picking up dialogues and mashing it up, but just music in general is something I've been wanting to do all my life, and I'm finally doing it.
But what about this twist, man? Because see, now everybody is moving towards a particular kind of music. Everybody wants to do, background score and film songs and so on and so forth. You, on the other end, pick these clips that are from the past and give them a spin that's so snackable. I mean, when I'm on the internet, like on Instagram or YouTube or any one of these places, I look at one of your videos and I go, man, this is so entertaining and so creative.
It's like I said, I always wanted to do music, something in music. Like I don't know what, but there was that one thing inside me is that I want to be happy and I want to make people happy. So I was always, my music was all supposed to be to uplift people's moods. And when I saw this opportunity, I thought, why not do this? This is the perfect way to get a smile on people's face, get a smile on my own face while doing it. And that's what I've been going on doing now.
Do you come from a family of musicians?
Not really. So my dad is the first person. He sings and he just plays the piano. He used to play the harmonium.
Seriously, or like the guy at a party?
The guy at a party, exactly.
Okay.
So that was always his hobby. He's a doctor, by the way.
Oh, okay.
So I've come from a very science-based family.
Does he operate as well?
No. He doesn't operate. He's a general practitioner, but...
Lovely. So he'd come back home and practice on organs.
On organs. Yeah.
Musical instruments. Sorry, it's a terrible joke. But go on, yes.
Yeah.
That's my medical joke.
It took 2 seconds for the joke to kick in, but yeah.
I get it. Okay. So your dad used to play the harmonium, he would sing. And what about mum?
Mom, no, not really.
Never?
Yeah. Like I said, I've been into a science-based family. Even my sister is an engineer and I took up engineering because of that.
Wow.
And I'm the first person in the whole extended family to really take up music as a career.
Did they not like you and want you to be at summer class or at an evening class and that's why send you away to learn an instrument?
No. So my dad, I've never learned professionally anything related to music until I was 19.
Okay.
And my dad is the first person to teach me a little bit basics about the piano, and from there I just picked up instruments myself.
Oh wow, really?
So there are a lot of times where I would not be very in the right mood or anything, and I would just go back to my instruments, and it used to make me feel good. It was always that one thing that everyone needs, that one thing in their life.
Right.
For some people, it's about calling up other people, speaking to them, which will make them feel better. For me, it was music.
Wow. What is the driving force for you?
I think the driving force came during my engineering years. So before that, it was always a hobby. Even during engineering years, it was a hobby, but that was the first time I realized I should be doing something in music. I should not just keep this as something I come back from work and then I play the instruments and all that.
Right.
That's not the life I want to live. And that's when I also started taking music seriously, where I started learning more and more, going outside YouTube and learning from different places.
So you went to a school? Did you have a teacher?
No. So during engineering, there was this small little crash course I did in music production. That was the first time I saw the whole world of music production.
What is this, SAE?
No. There was some other, a very small course somewhere.
Okay.
And because I was always into computers and music, so that was the perfect path for me.
So you were studying computer science, was that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was studying computer science and music, and I thought this is the perfect culmination of both the fields.
Yeah.
So, and once I got into music production, I'm like, this is crazy. There's so much you can do on a laptop. Just take a keyboard attached to it, and you can literally make the complete song out of nothing.
No, because I generally think music is so difficult because you can't be inspired by anything. What do? I mean, you can listen to traffic sounds, but you're not going to make a song out of traffic sounds, right? You could, knowing you. But I'm saying, where do you find inspiration from? Is a lot of it like from within?
I keep on thinking to myself, is this like a gift, or is this something I've acquired?
Yeah.
Because I knew I wasn't that great as a kid.
Mm.
But at the same time, even now when I start playing some old
Dude,
songs.
you started playing at 4, so it is
It's-
definitely a gift. And you were special at 4 if you're playing the harmonium or a piano.
I started, so I won't say I can just like literally slay
No,
on the
I'm
piano.
not saying
but
you were
yeah.
Mozart at 4, but
Yeah.
I'm saying you were definitely playing music, right?
No, but even during my engineering years, I never thought I was that great in playing instruments or anything.
Mm.
But there's this one thing that has stuck with me. You know how you must have spoken to your friends about this. Do you remember lyrics or music?
Mm.
Whenever you hear a new song, like what is the first thing that you remember? The music or lyrics?
Yeah.
For me, it's 100% music. I can't remember lyrics at all.
No?
Even if I hear the song 10 times, 20 times. But in the music space, if I hear a song when I was 3 or 4 years old,
Yeah.
and after that I haven't heard it in 20 years, even today I can just, I remember everything. Even the
Wow.
small interludes in between, like where is the saxophone coming in, where is this coming in.
Yeah.
Somehow I remember that.
Wow, that is so cool. So while you were in college, did you have a rock band? Because I know most engineering colleges promote rock bands, which are unfortunately death metal. It is death more than metal.
That's true. That's true.
Because I was speaking with a friend of mine, Biswa, who's a stand-up
Oh
comedian.
yeah, of course.
Right? And Biswa was telling me about the band that he had, and he's like, "Man, don't tell me about music and bands." Were you a part of a band?
I mean, not something I'm proudly going to say, but
were.
there was a band.
What is it called?
Oh, again, not something I'm very proud of. The band was called Silent Waters.
Ooh. So you guys, people like listening to you on mute?
No. Sometimes I wish they would.
So what is the kind of songs you guys did? Were they
No,
originals?
no. We didn't do originals. We just did covers, and we used to play at band events. Nothing big.
Yeah? So you did like fests and you played.
Yeah.
That
And
must
there
have
was
been
this-
nice, right? To play at a fest and have
I mean,
like.
at that point of time, it really seemed like, oh my god, this is such a great deal.
Yeah.
And then we got offered to play at Jazz by the Bay, which is now Pizza by the Bay.
Dude, you're good,
And-
that means. You had a good band. Stop downplaying yourself. Jazz by the Bay, of course, which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
on that
Marine
Nariman
lines, yeah.
Marine Drive, right? Yeah, I know
Yeah.
that place. Yeah.
So every month we used to play there once.
Hmm.
But that was a short-lived thing, and also I mean, as an engineer, you really want to do that because you're fed up of just studying the same old computer shit. And when you're doing this as your extracurricular and all, it's fun.
Yeah.
But is it really your career?
Yeah.
That's something I think every band member in every band must have
Yeah.
thought once.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to make music my
You're
career. But
questioning it.
yeah. But
Yeah.
at that point of time, it's very difficult to really answer. Like, you want to make it your career, but definitely that's not for everyone.
So how did you break this dilemma then? You actually took up a job, right?
I did, yeah.
Where did you work at?
So I was working at this company called DirectEye,
Okay.
Media.net, if you've heard.
Yeah, MediaNet. Yeah.
So I got this right after college, and I graduated at a point where engineering was becoming a saturation thing.
Right.
Everyone is becoming an engineer. Everyone wants a job.
I mean, I'm
now.
from Bangalore. I know that.
Yeah, exactly.
Throw a stone, you'll hit
Yeah,
an
yeah.
engineer for sure.
Yeah. So the first job, I didn't even apply for any jobs that require my engineering skills.
So it was like a campus placement, was it?
There was a campus placement, but that was different. When I started this job at DirectEye, I actually applied as a UI designer.
Oh, okay.
UX UI designer.
Okay.
Because again, in college I used to be a part of festivals and all, and I used to create these posters and all that.
So you did graphic designing, but you studied engineering and you've been stuck with music all your life. How
Yeah.
the hell does one do that?
It's just, I mean, on the surface it looks like I'm multi-talented, but it's just confusion in my head.
Now that's fine. That's fine. You've worked through your confusion.
Yeah.
Right.
Finally,
so,
I have
So,
decided on
so
a
you
path.
did this UI UX job. Which again today is great. I mean, my wife's a graphic designer, so I know
Yeah,
she
yeah.
makes a lot more money than I do. I'm struggling still, right? So at what point did you think, man, you know what, screw this, I'm just going to go and pursue what I've done when I was 4 years old and turn it into an extended childhood and a career?
Yeah. So so the job was not bad. It was really good for me. The people over there were really good, but I just felt like I can't be doing this 5 years later. I need something exciting in my life.
Was it
And-
like a movie moment where you were walking through somewhere teary-eyed,
Um,
files
so the
moving
movie
around
moment
you?
happened when so I just randomly applied to Berklee College of Music.
Oh.
And I applied for their master's course because bachelor's फिर से करके तो point नहीं है.
Sorry, I'm going to go back again now. Not everybody wants to apply at Berklee. The idea has to come from somewhere. Were you sitting at office? Were you researching websites?
Yes. So Berklee has this thing called Berklee Indian Ensemble.
I'm
you
aware.
must have seen so
Yeah.
many videos, like
Yeah.
they've gone viral, crazy viral.
Especially a lot of their collaborations with Mr. A.R. Rahman.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's something I used to watch all the time, and I used to feel like I want to be there, not here.
Wow.
That's something that was going on in my head. So I did apply for Berklee. I applied to their master's course. Initially, like that thought was going on in my head for like 6 months.
Wow.
But I never did apply because the first thing on their website, when you apply, it's written you need to have a bachelor's in music to apply for the master's.
But you have engineering.
But I don't have a bachelor's in music.
Right.
Exactly. I emailed them asking like, hey, should I apply? They're like, try it out and see. You never know.
Yeah.
And I did apply. Somehow I got through the interview rounds and... yes.
Good job.
Thank you.
So proud
Thank
already.
you. Thank you. And the moment I got that email,
Okay.
I also, I went, spoke to my parents about it. And that was, of course, like, as you know, Indian household, it's very difficult to convince people that you want to switch your career, go into music.
Yeah.
So like that took a while, but I also applied for scholarships and all here and there.
Because I'm mighty impressed with two things, right? A, the fact that your mum's an engineer, your dad's a doctor, and here's somebody who's already done engineering but wants to pursue music. And I'm assuming your parents don't really understand the industry?
Yeah. So there's no connection anywhere to the industry, to any creative industry.
So what was your pitch to them?
So my pitch was that, hey, look, it's not that I'm quitting engineering or just quitting things in between and applying for this and doing this.
Right.
Like I know it's not a very easy industry to get into.
Yeah.
It's not secured like how all the jobs are. I did do this with secured because even normal jobs are not secured according to me.
Yeah, I agree.
You agree, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
So I told them I know it's not a secured this thing. It's something I might have to struggle with, but I know I'm at a point where I've tried all these things. I've tried becoming an engineer. I've tried UI design, and I know that my calling is over here. And it's not just my calling. Berklee people are calling me.
Yeah.
So there has to be something over here, and I need to try that out.
What was Berklee like, man? Tell us about that.
Oh, that was one amazing year.
Was this at Berklee
No, it wasn't the US one. It wasn't the Boston one. It was in Spain.
Oh, wow.
In a city called Valencia.
Okay.
Which was even better. Like initially I thought I want to go to US because most of the Indian ensemble and everything is over there.
Right.
Where I can work with those people. But coming to Spain, I realized it's so much better over here. Because everyone around me were, of course, it was just masters. So everyone was coming from very different backgrounds.
Yeah.
Different countries.
Yeah.
We had people from over 90 countries, I think.
Wow.
And everyone had something they are bringing into the table. And
they're all musicians.
They're
They've all
all
studied
musicians.
music.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was the best part. Like, for the first time, I was surrounded by musicians who are better than me.
Right.
Who know stuff. Because, of course, if it's the master, so everyone has a bachelor's.
Right.
And I was like the odd man out who didn't have a bachelor's in music. And it was intimidating at first to be with these people. But then once they also got to know what skills I have, I got to know what they are amazing at.
Yeah.
And the collaborations that we did over there, it was just amazing that 1 year.
And were they very welcoming?
Very welcoming, exactly.
Very warm? Like they liked sharing information with you? What was it like?
Yeah, exactly. So everyone was so welcoming over there. And mainly because everyone was from outside. There were barely a few Spanish locals over there in my class. Everyone was coming from somewhere else, which wouldn't have been the case in US. Like in US, half the people are local, right?
Right.
Are from the country itself.
United States, yeah.
So there it wouldn't have felt the same way.
Wow.
As it felt over here because everyone was your equal over here.
So who's your coolest classmate? And when I say coolest, I don't necessarily mean skill-wise because sometimes you just meet these people. Like I did improv at Upright Citizens Brigade in New York. And I had a classmate who was 75 years old. A retired doctor who wanted to do comedy for the rest of his life. Did you have people like that in your class?
Yeah. Not like very old.
No, I'm not. He doesn't have to be 75, but like touch and go there, anywhere around that.
There were older people, not old. I wouldn't say old, but everyone had the same kind of enthusiasm. towards music.
Yeah.
Like whether you're young, like a 21-year-old right after college, or whether you're a 40, 45-year-old, everyone had the same enthusiasm and everyone collaborated with each other like they're equals.
Wow.
That was the best part.
So you hear about Berkeley, and just for somebody who's never been there or probably has the dream to get there, what's your day like? You're just listening to music the entire day, is that right?
Not at all.
No?
No.
What do you do? What do you do?
So there's a lot of stuff happening with the curriculum itself.
Yeah.
In terms of studies. So of course, like music, it's not textbook study or anything, but you do have a lot to understand, to grasp, and to practice.
Yeah.
And especially for me, the course was called Music Production and Technology.
Okay.
So it wasn't just about music, learning music and all that.
Right.
It was more about how do you work in your computer, how do you create songs, mix, master, everything.
Right.
Everything related to creating a full song from scratch.
Right.
So that was what was involved. It was, so like I said, it was 1 year, right? It wasn't a long course.
Yeah.
So it was very hectic.
And you had to pick everything up.
Exactly. You need to pick everything up. And especially for me, because I didn't have any academic knowledge about music before that.
Right.
It was difficult it wasn't difficult, but it was it was pretty, I wouldn't even say hectic. I had to hustle a lot. So it was great hustle. It was a fun thing to do.
You have 1 year, and I think in general, India and Indians, we want to get the most out of whatever we use, right?
Yeah.
Like bike, we want maximum mileage.
Exactly.
College course, get every fucking thing into our system. There
I think if you ask my classmates over there, they would call me that guy, like the guy who just wanted to do everything in that 1 year.
Wow, but that's great, right? It also speaks about the kind of passion that you've always had, and I think that's what's kept you afloat. That's what's carried you this far, and that kind of explains the idea of this podcast, which is to do what floats your boat, right? Tell us a little bit about coming back after such a grand education from Berkeley, which is one of the premier institutes around the world, and then to start doing these mashups on social media.
So basically, actually, when I came back, I didn't know what was going to happen.
Okay.
But before going to Berkeley, my sister told me this really cool thing.
Yeah.
Before my parents even agreed to this, she told me make a list of 10 backup plans. Not one, but 10 backup plans. Is she older or is she younger? Older, yeah.
Okay. The older sisters are good. Older sisters, yeah. Okay.
So she told me to make 10 backup plans in case you don't become a huge artist or anything.
Okay, we don't want all 10 of them. Tell us the top 2.
No, so like it was just basic starting a studio, working for other people, creating music for other people and all that. And teaching was one of them, which...
Lovely.
So once I came back, I didn't know what was happening. For the first 6 months, there was nothing. I thought कि ठीक है Berkeley का degree है, लोग देख के खुश हो जाएंगे.
Are you from Bombay?
Yeah. I'm born and brought up here.
But you have zero connection to the music industry. What does one do? That sounds really hard, man. Who do you go meet?
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
Do you know where people's studios are? Do you know them?
I know the studios, but I wouldn't like. No, it's just on the screen. It looks good that you stand below these record labels with their pen drive and all that, but that never happens.
No.
You need to have. Yeah. I mean, people do that, but that will not. See, I like to call it smart struggle rather than hard struggle.
What's the difference?
So hard struggle is basically standing below these buildings and with your pen drives and hoping someone sees you and like, please sir, dekh lo, mera
like put the pen drive.
Pen drive or whatever, like gana banaya, please dekh lo, sun lo.
Right.
And smart struggle, according to me, is finding the right connections.
Yeah.
And when you find the right connections, give it your best shot.
Lovely.
Give them more than what you would. Give them more than what they expect you to do. And that's how the connection started building for me.
So who was your first connection? Your first smart connection?
I'll tell you how it happened. Without any connections in Bollywood, and this is a great story because a lot of people are struggling, and for them it's difficult, right? They don't know what to do basically.
Yeah.
That is why they end up doing the hard struggle.
You've been there. All of us have been there. Yeah.
So 6 months there was nothing happening. Maybe small things here and there. I started working with some friends, or someone introduced me to someone who was doing something small, something parody or something like that only.
Okay.
Which was very, very small, which I was making for other people.
Okay.
And then there came this opportunity. Again, one of my friend introduced me to a videographer who was shooting for the NSG. National Security Guard.
Yeah.
So they were kind of they wanted to recreate their anthem.
Yeah.
So they had this anthem that was initially composed by Shankar Mahadevan and written by Gulzar Sahab.
Yeah.
And they told me that you take this, you make it your own.
Okay.
And it was a big deal for me because Shankar Mahadevan has composed the first one,
Yeah.
and they want me to recompose that.
And it's for the NSG.
And it's for the NSG, which is the biggest.
Yeah,
it's
I
such
mean,
a big.
it's the nation's pride.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a proud. It was a proud moment, and it was a big opportunity.
Yeah.
So I killed it. According to them, I killed it.
Yeah.
Because when I gave them the final output, they were expecting a first draft or
Okay,
something.
hold on. For dummies listening, killed it as in he did really well. That's what he means. Killed it, and
So-
people will be like, he killed a song that Shankar Mahadevan made. No,
So
that's
I'll
not
tell
what he
you-
did. Yeah.
I'll
He
tell you
did
how.
well. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I had like a week to do that. Within 3 days, I told them I'll send you the first scratch.
Yeah.
The first scratch was basically the final version. Because 3
Well
days,
done.
day and night, I just worked on it. And I gave them this output, and they loved it. Just mixed, master, and gave them everything.
Yeah.
In the end, this guy told me, I also work for this other company that does promos and all for films.
Yeah.
And I'll introduce you to them.
Yeah.
And again, I think 1 or 2 months, nothing happened. And then I got a call from this company that we are doing some web series trailers and all that.
Yeah.
And I did that. I did a couple of web series, just did the sound effects, background music and everything for the trailers.
You mean like the Foley and the background score? That's what you did?
Everything.
Yeah.
So from Foley, background score, mixing, mastering, everything.
Lovely. And what series was this?
The first one was a small series. I barely even remember the name.
Okay.
But
must have been
one
really
series-
small if you don't even remember the name.
Yeah.
Okay.
So after that series, I got another series, maybe a bigger series. Then I started getting Bollywood movies.
Wow.
So 2018 to 2019, I was doing that a lot.
That's people don't transition so quickly. You've
Yeah.
made giant strides.
That's what I'm trying to say, that it's not about you struggling to get work.
Yeah.
It's about killing it with whatever you get. So once you
Mm.
have that opportunity, just make the best out of it. Show people what you can do.
No, but what do you attribute this to? Because I used to initially think the word luck is very belittling. And then I figured, man, not really. Luck is something. And I feel like there's also talent and there's opportunity. When you got your first Bollywood film, what film was it?
I think the first one was Pari.
Okay.
And no,
That's the-
Fukre Returns was the first one, and Pari was like right next to that.
And you did the
The,
music.
the trailer music.
You did the trailer music.
teasers and all that.
Okay. And what was it like at home? What was it like for you
was-
personally?
It sounded really great. Like, it was a big deal to like transition and just start working in the Bollywood industry right away. It was a big deal for me, and once I kept on doing that, that became a. Initially, it was also I was a little nervous because I know millions of people are going to watch those trailers.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a small web series anymore. It's a movie from a big
Yeah.
shot company coming in,
Yeah.
big shot production house,
Yeah.
and I knew millions of people are going to see even the slightest of mistake.
Yeah.
And they are going to blame me, and I'm gonna feel bad for doing
Right,
that.
right.
But once I did it very carefully, I put all my heart into
Right,
it.
right.
And once a couple of movies happened, then I started getting confident as well in my
Yeah.
abilities,
Yeah.
and I started delivering this, and all that was great. I mean, it was just, it still can be called struggle,
Yeah.
because like I told you, first 6 months there was nothing,
Yeah.
and after that also it wasn't like.
It wasn't
Directly
like
everyone is calling me
up
and they
go.
want, huh,
Yeah.
yeah.
It wasn't.
And
Yeah.
it wasn't even like good. I mean, like, if you know about the Bollywood industry, sometimes you either have to work too hard and get paid very less, and go for the fame. So it's either fame or money,
Mm.
at least when you're starting.
Mm.
You can't you can't get both at the same time.
Mm.
It's very difficult for you to just jump, unless, like, of course, you know someone in the industry and all.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you. Tell me, how did the internet and content on the internet happen for you?
That happened way later. So that happened just when the lockdown started.
We're all lockdown
The
babies,
lockdown
aren't
babies,
we?
exactly.
We're all
Yeah.
lockdown
Yeah.
babies.
Mm.
Because I was sitting at home, bored out of my fucking mind. I was like, what do I do? I don't have anyone to make content with. Cool, I'll make it with myself.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I started
that's
picking
exactly
shit
what
up
we
at
did.
home and using them as phones and making content.
Exactly, yeah.
What happened to you?
Actually, no. So lockdown is when I started taking it seriously. My first video went up in 2015 when I went to Berkeley.
Yeah.
And that also, like, I think second video that I put up, like at that time it was called viral. It has like 90,000 views or something.
That's a lot of
Just
views.
crossed
What was it?
100,000.
What did you remix?
I did
then?
a remix of this song. Do you know the 90s song Blue Labadee? I'm blue,
Blue,
da
da
ba
ba
dee
dee
da
da
ba
ba
da.
die. Yeah.
So I did like a live remix, and exactly what I do, I take my launch pad and I do all that
Yeah.
with a GoPro on my head. That was the first time I did it, 2015.
That's awesome. So you see, the best things just happen.
It
It's almost
happens.
like alchemy. It just
It just happens.
it's just there. So your lockdown happens, and now you're at home. Do you live with your parents or by yourself?
With my parents, yes.
You live with your parents, all right. But you were in a room, right? You
Yeah, of course. So I made a proper studio room, a small little room that I've
Yeah.
converted into a studio.
And then you started doing these videos again.
Yes. So also that was the time where I had access to another studio, which was basically a place where I used to teach as well. So I was also teaching music production because, like I told you, right, first 3 years were like a struggle, 2017 to
You got
2020.
to hustle, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even though I got 2019 end May, I got a Bollywood movie.
Ah.
Not the trailer. Like I created 2 songs for a Bollywood
Oh,
movie.
what film was this?
This film is called Bypass Road
Oh, yeah.
by Neil Nitin Mukesh.
Yeah.
So I had a couple of songs in that movie.
Lovely.
So it's funny because now so many creators just want to go into Bollywood. Like their ultimate goal is Bollywood.
Yeah.
And for me, I've transitioned from Bollywood to the creative space. So it's like an opposite direction for me.
No, but do you think this is more lucrative than that?
I think both are.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that one is better than the other.
Yeah.
But it depends on how good you are in either of them.
Yeah.
It also depends on. So I still keep on getting a lot of web series. This thing like, hey, make something for this, make something for that, and I'm very selective with whatever I take because I don't want to put out any mediocre stuff. So that once people see that okay, Mayur is creating this, then they'll be like, okay, ये तो ऐसे ही बनाता होगा.
Now you turn into a factory. You're not an artist anymore then.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't want to do that to myself. So when these 2 songs came out, of course it worked. They came out on T series,
Okay.
which was like it
Yeah,
was a
it's
big
the
deal.
biggest,
It's a big
Yeah.
deal that
Yeah.
you're getting 2 songs in a Bollywood movie.
Yeah.
And the problem was that lockdown happened right after that.
Right.
Just when I thought my career in Bollywood was about to go up, the lockdown happened, and
boy, look
everything-
at where your career went after that, huh?
Exactly. So it was at that point that I realized that Bollywood is, of course, a very big stepping stone,
Yeah.
but it's not your end goal.
No.
It should never be anyone's end
No.
goal. End
No.
goal is to be an artist and to keep on doing work, to keep on building a fan following.
Yeah.
If you're into the film
No, I
side of
love
things.
what you're saying because I've always treated life-changing opportunities that people say as not really life-changing opportunities. They're career-changing opportunities. Life's great in any which case, right? From what I understand, you have a loving family.
Yeah.
You have a wonderful sister who cares. You have friends who care, right? And I feel like what the lockdown did was it kind of separated the two for a lot of us.
Yeah.
And you started having fun as an artist then.
Right.
And
right.
what did that bring about?
So you know how good things come. For a lot of people, good things come when they're at the lowest time.
Yeah.
So right after my first Bollywood movie, I thought this is the time I'm gonna kill it. I'm gonna go meet everyone in the industry, say like, hey, I have these 2 songs, and like that's kind of my stepping stone
Right.
to get into the mainstream industry.
Right.
And that's when the lockdown happened, and I had no clue what's happening.
Yeah.
Plus, these 2 songs, of course, they did well on T series, but I don't think they gave any recognition for me. They didn't help with anything as such. As my professional side goes,
Right.
it didn't help with my professional growth as much.
Right.
Like it was a good thing to brag about,
But that's
but
it.
no one would see that song on T series, see my name. Oh, Mayur Jamani, I want to check who this guy is.
Right.
Like I didn't see a huge boost in my audience or anything. It didn't help with my fan following at all.
Right.
It was 0 back then. It's 0. It will still continue to be 0.
Right.
I mean, not 0, but like very less.
Right.
And that's where I thought like the best thing about this is social media, because now you don't need a stepping stone. Directly, you have an audience right in front of you.
You just need to perform.
You just need to perform, show them your best side, and that's it. Things have never been so easy throughout humanity.
Yeah.
It's the first time it's so easy to directly reach your audience.
Yeah.
Like basically Bollywood
No,
record
and
labels.
also it was a level playing field. It didn't matter whether you were Jimmy Kimmel,
Exactly,
whether you were Trevor Noah, or whether
Yeah.
you were, I don't know, whatever other performer, or someone as low as me. The point was it was a level playing field. We
Exactly.
were all at home and we had to do something.
Exactly, and that's why I was saying that Bollywood is not an end goal.
Yeah, it's
a
not the
stepping
ultimate
stone.
thing. Yeah.
It's a stepping stone towards your glory.
Lovely. So, what was the first thing you remixed during the lockdown?
Oh, that's crazy. So again, when I started doing these remixes, I didn't think that this is going to be my calling.
Yeah.
This is going to be something that I'll keep on doing. This is
Right.
something that will bring me the fan following.
Right.
I literally did it because, of course, I was in that place where there's nothing happening in my life.
Hmm.
And I knew that everyone else is in that same place. Everyone else is in that, not depressed, but like this quiet, sad zone.
Yeah, it was catch-22. You didn't
Exactly,
know, it
yeah.
was cat on the wall. You didn't know where the world was going. I thought the
Exactly,
world was
yeah.
ending. That's what someone told me.
Yeah. So I thought, why not just like make something entertainment? Forget about what I want to create or anything. Just like try to entertain the audience that I have. Like I barely had like 1,000 followers or something back then.
Yeah.
And I just thought I'll make it for these people.
Right.
That they'll find this entertaining. They'll have some fun during the lockdown.
Right.
So this was also the time where TikTok was banned and Reels had just started.
Right.
And Arnab Goswami went on and on about how China is this, that.
Yeah.
And there was this thing where he's like, suddenness. The sheer suddenness of the move. And I'm like, perfect, I'll just pick it up.
Yeah.
And,
Do you watch news at home?
No, not at all.
Where
This
did
was
you
all
get the
memes.
suddenness of the move
It started, people
Okay.
started forwarding to
Okay,
each
so you're
other,
just
yeah.
spending time on Instagram or wherever.
Yeah,
you find
yeah.
this Arnab Goswami clip.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm like, perfect, I'll just pick my launchpad up. I'll make the beat according to, because he's also saying it in a beat.
Yeah.
And like for some reason I can think about that melody and the beat
Yeah.
happening with every line. Like I said, I don't focus on the lyrics at all.
Yeah.
I focus on the musical side of things.
Yeah.
And it just struck to me, and that night itself I recorded, morning I uploaded, and by that day evening, like everyone was sharing it.
It's just gone
Yeah.
viral. Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't expect the first video to do that.
Yeah.
It was crazy, and I didn't even expect I'll continue creating this. It's just something I did for fun.
Right.
And first day was fine. It went kind of viral. I wouldn't say viral.
Yeah.
To second, third day later, I'm getting WhatsApp forwards from other people saying, "Hey, look at this."
Give me a 5. That's
No,
when you
so-
know you're viral. When your shit comes back to you.
Exactly. And
That's when you know you're viral.
And the first video, I didn't put my face. I didn't put my any tag or anything.
Yeah.
They're like, "Hey, look at this. Why don't you create something like this?"
I'm like, I created it.
That was me, bro.
Yeah.
That's me. That's
Yeah.
my hands.
What was the adulation from around like? Did you have a lot of popular people that you probably wanted to connect with, now connect with you? Did that happen?
That happened. Slowly, it happened.
Let's
It didn't
give
happen
us an
initially.
example of somebody that you were trying to get in touch with and they got in touch with you.
I mean, it didn't happen initially, of course. Like
Yeah.
initially, even I wasn't so much into social media.
Yeah.
Like it's just after the lockdown when I started creating this, where my social media thing also started increasing. I saw who these other YouTubers are, and I
Yeah.
started researching on all of them.
Yeah.
And so Dipraj Jadhav is someone who I collaborated with very initially, and I had seen his stuff a lot.
Yeah, I like his stuff.
Yeah, his stuff is crazy, and of
Yeah.
course he was all connected to the music industry as well
Yeah.
in so many ways. Nuclear is someone I follow. Like he's my idol, by the way.
Yeah, he's
and-
lovely.
Yeah. So when that happened, someone from the industry called me up. Hey, it's Nuclear's new song is coming out. Would you like to collaborate with him?
Why not?
I'm like, of course,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
And again, this happened, and the best part was it wasn't just Nuclear. It was Nuclear and Major Lazer bringing a sound.
Man,
out.
atta boy. Well done. I'm
Yeah.
so proud of you.
And that
Go
was
on.
something that was a big deal. Like I'm like, of course. Like no, it wasn't a collaboration as like I just made a remix of that.
Yeah.
Now, I felt this was a big deal for me.
Yeah.
Once I made that remix, and it was basically Nuclear putting it up on his story, and he's like, "Hey, Mayur, create a remix of this." And 2 days later, I have my remix out on YouTube. Now, if you go to see, so this song is basically that Jari Booty, if you heard.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
So now, if you go to see, what I did was basically took Arnab's dialogues and just made him sing that song from start to end. And once I uploaded that, it was one of those videos that blew up.
Yeah.
And today it has more views than the original video itself, Nuclear and Major Lazer.
What's
Thank
the
you
big
so
goal
much.
for you, man, Mayur?
The goal is always to create good music.
Right.
And of course, see, another thing, like I spoke about this Nuclear thing, but at the same time, what I'm doing is not something that is very difficult, not something that's as difficult as creating original song. So
Right.
of course, they have done the hard work, Nuclear and Major Lazer, the song that they have created.
Right.
That's the hardest part.
Right.
For me, it was picking up things. Of course, it's something creative, something no one does.
Right.
But I actually feel it's harder to create an original song that is catchy.
Right.
And that is my next goal, is basically to get into the industry. Not just be a content creator, but having this dual nature of content creator who's also a very good musician.
Right. The fact that you figured this out at 29, right? So you've been very patient in the process. So if you had to tell an upcoming musician who's watching this right now and wants to be his own person, right? What would the 3 things be? Would it be pick an instrument early? Would it be go to a music school? Would it be fiddle around on a computer? Because you've been there, done that. You seem to have done it all and then somehow figured your way. Now let's simplify it for somebody who's listening to this.
So again, like I've been putting my hands into everything.
Right.
And not everyone needs to do that.
Right.
So if someone is sure that they want to be a vocalist, they should just do everything that they can in that field. If someone wants to be a composer, then you need to know instruments and start with your instruments. But at the same time, we are living in this Renaissance age. I call it Renaissance age because you know how Leonardo da Vinci was the first person to put his hands into everything.
Yeah.
So we are living in that age where everyone wants to do that.
Yeah.
And people who do that have better chances of succeeding than someone who's just focused on one particular goal.
That's awesome. Hustle is the real
hustle is the
muscle.
key.
Well, thank you very much, Mayuresh. It's been a pleasure
so
speaking
much.
with you, Mayur. I mean, to just learn about your journey, to learn about your process, and to understand that if there's a dream, if there's a tune, then eventually it will be a big hit.
Thank you so much. Yes, it is what it is.
Thank you.